So guys, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. Okay, if today is your first time of coming across my channel, you're highly welcome. Okay, so in this video we are going to be learning how to draft this beautiful blazer jacket. Okay, so if that is what you really want to watch, then keep on watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification so that whenever I post something new, you could also be able to watch it. So I had to join something to my pattern paper to make sure that I'm getting the exact length I want. Okay, so the first thing I did was to mark 5 inches like so, and I'll draw the straight line starting from the beginning of the pattern paper to the full length of the jacket, or just the full length of the pattern paper. Okay, so from the upper shoulder line, the upper space, that's the shoulder line, I'm going to mark again another 5 inches. Okay, so 5 inches is standard measurement, whether you are drafting or double breasted, whatever jacket you are drafting, 5 inches is okay. Okay guys, so now after this, I'll go ahead and divide my biggest round measurement by 2. Okay, for instance, if my bust is bigger than all the rest of other measurements, I'll divide it into 2 and now add something like 2 inches to 2.5 inches or 3 inches to it, and I'll mark it like so. This is because I want to draft the front piece and the back piece together all in one place. Okay, so now after that, I'll go ahead and find the middle. Okay, just your biggest round measurement divided by 2 plus extra 2 inches to 3 inches, then you find the middle of the space. Okay, so we'll draft the front at this end, and then the other side we can now go ahead and draft the back pattern, as you guys can see how I'm doing it. So now I have my space all secured, and now I can go ahead and draft both the front and the back piece together. So now the next thing is to place my tape like so, and I'll mark my chest line, my half length, my the length of the jacket. Okay, but then this is my bust line. Okay, so from my bust line to get my chest line, I'll be going up from my bust line by 1.5. Okay guys, so for most people it can actually be up to 2 inches from the bust point to get a chest line. It could take 2 inches. Well, it actually depends on how busted the person really is. Okay, for me, I'm not that busty, so 1.5 from my bust line, it will take me to my chest line accurate. So now I have the full length of my jacket, and I'll cut out this excess so that I could be able to relax very well and continue this tutorial. So now at this point, you guys can see I'm now going up from that bust line by 1.5. This will give me my perfect chest line. Okay, for most people it has to be 2 inches like I told you guys, but for me, I'm not that busty. I'm bust 35, so 1.5 from the bust line will give me my chest line. So for a unisex blazer jacket, 3 inches for the width of the neck, and then you mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2, and you slant the shoulder down by 1 inch. So after this, I will remark my shoulder divided by 2 at the chest line, and I'll make sure I draw a perfect line like so. So from this point, I'll mark the depth of my neckline. For a basic neckline, especially for a jacket, 3 inches is okay. So at the chest line, I'll divide my bust circumference measurement by 4. Okay, so at the bust line and the chest line, divide the bust by 4. So at the half length, you divide your round waist by 4 and you add 1 inch for that. Okay, so now at the full length, I'm going to divide my upper hip by 4. Okay, so now I'll use the French curve to get this very part because this is at the hip area, right? So now I will connect it like so. So after this, I'm trying to create the armhole curve, and to do that, you find the middle of your shoulder and just indicate. So from there, you can come in by 0.5. This is jacket, okay? And then I'll connect it with my French curve. And then after that, I'll place the French curve from the end of that slant to meet the bust divided by 4 at the chest line. So okay guys, I hope you guys are enjoying this tutorial to this moment. So now after this, I'll mark my nipple to nipple. That's your bust span. Okay, you divide your bust span by 2 and you mark it at the half length. Okay, you draw a straight line from the bust point to meet the full length of your jacket. So now we are trying to find the middle of this shoulder to connect this line straight from the shoulder point to meet it at the bust point. Okay, make sure your line stop at the bust point. You shouldn't take it up to the chest line, just the way I did mine. So you mark your correct bust for that. Mine is 1 inch. That is the difference between my shoulder to waist for front and back is 1 inch. For most people, it might actually be bigger than that or less. Okay, but mostly for an average female, that's 1 inch. Okay, but when the person is really busty, it could take more than that. So this place, I try to reconnect the dart legs to make sure that the dart legs are corresponding and they are of the same height. So now with this, I'll go ahead and take out the 1 inch I added at the waist. Okay guys, so with this I can now take it out just 1 inch dart and I'll draw the dart legs like so. So because this is a jacket, we do not need so much curving at the point, right? So we just want to make sure that we have something beautiful and unique. Okay guys, if you are watching this video to this end, you are the best. Thank you, and don't forget to drop a comment. Okay, so now I'm done drafting the basic sloper. This is called a basic sloper, a jacket basic sloper. And now I will go ahead to draft my basic sloper for the back pattern. Okay, we are still coming to the main tail, that's the blazer jacket. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and mark all my vertical measurements. Alright, so when marking your vertical body measurements, you do not need to mark your shoulder to bust because you do not have any bust at the back, right? Just get your half length and your chest line. Do not mark shoulder to bust line. Okay guys. So now connect it like so. So guys, just know that your waistline remains your waistline, okay? But because of the 1 inch that I took out, I'll just from the hem, I'll go up by 1 inch. Okay, let's for instance, if you took out 1.5 for your bust that, then from the full length of this jacket, you have to go up by 1.5. Okay, this is just the way to do it. So by the time I close the bust that, it will come back to become of the same length with the back pattern. So now I'm going to remark the same width of neck I marked at the front, and I'll divide my shoulder by 2 and I'll come down by 0.5 at that point. Instead of 1 inch, I'm going to come down by 0.5. Okay. So now after this, the next thing that I'm going to do now is for me to mark half inch for the depth of the neck. You know, pocket, and you do not want the neck at the back to be very deep. Half inch is perfect. Okay, so now I'll come to this point to mark my chest line. That's why I told you guys you do not need to mark your bust line at the back pattern. Okay, you do not have bust at the back. So now after this, I'll divide my shoulder measurement by 2 and I will mark it like so. So after this, I'll go ahead and mark my bust divided by 4, and then I'll find the middle of this armhole to create the armhole 4. Then I'll go in by 0.5. So I'll go ahead and connect it like so. So guys, after this, I'll just cross checking to see if I actually get the accurate chest line. Okay, so sometimes you can choose to tighten the back armhole like so, but then let's keep on going. You can also go like this way. So now we are going to be adding a sway back. A sway back is added at the back pattern of a basic sloper to eliminate any bulging or puffiness at the back. Okay, so from the neckline I came down by 4.5 to 5 inches, and at the waistline I went in by 0.5, and I'll connect it like so. This is very necessary because this will help to eliminate any puffiness at the back. So now I will divide my waist by 4 and also add 1 inch because we're going to be adding a dart at this point. So just add a normal dart of 1 inch. So okay, I decided to remark my bust divided by 4 to make sure that it is accurate, and it was. So now I'll go ahead and divide my bust band, that is nipple to nipple, into 2 again, and then I'll mark it like so. So I'll also find the middle of my shoulder and I will reconnect it back like so. So now the 1 inch that we added at the waistline, you mark 0.5 in between the line. Okay guys, and then you take it down like so. So now for this very one, as you guys could see that the front body has that stop just at the bust line, not almost at the bust line though. So this one, guys, this is where we are. So what happened was that I deleted parts of this video, so I decided to merge it with the one I've already posted on Facebook. Okay guys, so what I did here was I marked my button overlap allowance. Okay, so it's just the same video, it's just that I posted some parts out of or at Facebook. Okay, so because of that I had to just take the clip and merge it with this very one. Okay, so you mark your button overlap allowance like so. So after marking your button overlap allowance, you go ahead and find your breaking point. Okay guys, the breaking point is that very point where the first button will be. Okay, so now this jacket, the breaking point of this jacket is exactly at the half length. Okay, so now take round your back bodice. Okay, measure the back sloper for the back, and then whatever thing you measure, you mark it starting from the end of this neckline. Okay, so at the back I came out by 0.5, and with my French cuff I connected like so. So now after this I'll go ahead and square a line. Okay, as you can see how I placed my roller, that's how you're going to place yours. So now I'll mark the width of the collar depending on the size of the collar you are working with. Okay, so at this very point, if you are just looking at the screen, you can see the description of the numbers that I'm marking. Okay, you can either use the straight line or you can use your curve like so. So now I'm going to come out by 2.5. It actually depends on the width of your collar. Okay, so now connect it like so and we are done. So now the first thing I'm going to do is for me to cut through like so, and then I'll cut open this very point so that I can be able to close my bust dart. Okay guys, so guys, if you are watching to this very point, you are highly welcome. I really appreciate your presence. Okay, so okay guys, because of the little mistake of deleting that video, I'm actually going to do another proper video on this so that you guys could be able to have everything all in one place. Okay guys, so bear with me. So after closing the bust dart, I'll go ahead and cut it like so. So now we do not add any dart at the shoulder because this is jacket. We do not need any, shoulder darts. It's okay and perfect just the way it is. All we need to do is to add our sewing allowance all around it and we are good to go. So now for the collar, you can actually detach the collar, but then another tutorial will be coming on how to actually sew a blazer jacket. Okay, so now I'm going to take out the dart at the half length at the middle. So now with this I'm done cutting the front. I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the back piece. So now, as you guys can see, after cutting it, you're going to find out that the front and the back are going to become of the same length because you have just closed that bust dart. Okay, so once you close the bust dart properly, everything will come to become of the same length. You guys are going to see it. So just the most important thing is for you to make sure that you are taking out the appropriate darts. Okay, do not take less, do not take more than you should take. Okay, so how to determine this is by taking the measurement from your shoulder to your half length from the front space, and then from the middle of your neck to the half length for the back piece. So now with this you can determine the difference between your front half length and the back half length. As you guys can see that they are now of the same height after cutting it. So guys, if you like this tutorial, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. See you guys in the next one. Bye.